Hey, what up, what up, what up? It's Arona, aka Cinematic Cisse, and today I'm talking about fight scenes. One of my favorite things in the world in movies are fight scenes. I've always loved them, and they've came a long way. When I mean long way, I'm talking about with four O's. Because back in the day, some fight scenes were kind of corny, and I know that we didn't have the knowledge and the technology to do things like we do today, but we don't even need technology either. But it's just like for example, the martial arts scenes in movies, they used to promote style like kung fu, karate, eskrima, taekwondo, jujitsu. What I like about today is it's combined, and Bruce Lee was the pioneer to that. R.I.P. to Bruce Lee. And that's what he was promoting versus just, oh, this is just a karate film. Oh, it's just a jujitsu and this style does this. Don't get me wrong. I love the old school karate films, the kung fu films, but I just like the fact that today it's combined. You see different stuff and it makes it a lot more challenging versus this style beat this style versus now it's, can this person beat that person? I mean, it's always been person against person, but it's more so today with whose kick is better, whose takedown is better, and it also depends on the type of person the actor's portraying. So if the protagonist is this skilled combatant, ex-military type person, that's how they have to fight. If the antagonist is the same kind of thing, they have to fight like that as well. Or the antagonist could be a just a regular robber, your everyday criminal who has no skill, and that's how they have to act. I've taken a few different stunt classes with Roger Ewan, Ron Ewan, Arnold Chanda, and Michael Jai White. Shout out to them. One thing Michael Jai White pointed out is that same thing with Roger Ewan, once you train, have tempo, because the way you train is going to reflect in a movie. And people, they want it, just like I mentioned in my last sermon, Raw and Uncut, they want to see Raw and Uncut with fight scenes. People will pay big money to go see a fight scene. Look at John Wick. Look at Batman and Fast and Furious. All these other big time films. People want to see it. People love this stuff. Action sells nationwide, not nationwide, worldwide. Even Michael Jai White will tell you that. Nothing in the world beats action. The John Wick franchise is helping keep the action martial art franchise afloat. Because some things it did go down, but thankfully we have John Wick to show that raw uncut. John Wick is raw and uncut. That's why I said people like that stuff. And then it reflects in there. You had all kind of stuff in that movie. And people of all backgrounds versus just, oh, it's just a karate guy. Like I said, if that's your style and that's what you do, I'm not dissing that. That's cool. We need the tradition in there. But one thing you have to do, you have to, as actors and performers, you have to keep alive yourself afloat by being versatile. Learn a new style, even take some classes, because it will reflect in your acting. Even if you're not a martial arts actor, you want to take some classes, because Arnold Chan did say if you do train, your strikes will be a lot cleaner. And that's one thing the audience likes. They like clean strikes, that fancy stuff. I mean, I know sometimes it gets corny, but you can make it applicable reality and movie. You can do that. I mean, I know the strikes in stunt fighting is a lot more out there, but once it's edited right and there's the right angles, you will see how you can incorporate those two. But even when you're writing a fight scene, write it raw and uncut. You don't have to be this goofy person like, oh, just not goofy, my bad. You don't be just this plain writer that just says, oh, he punches him. Make it sell, like in the movie. He strikes him with a karate chop, something like that. Make it fun and exciting. And like I said, actors, you got to sell the fight. One thing, the audience today, they're not stupid. They're not as gullible as they used to be. The audience looks at every inch of that fight scene, especially those who come from fight backgrounds. You have to make that stuff believable. Just like Christian Bale's not a martial artist, but in real life he's a stiff fighter. But he did pretty well in Batman. But when you're, like I said, even though you're not a martial artist, train as one. Take some classes. 8711 gym. Shout out to them. Even go to an actual school, MMA, BJJ, karate, and really train under that so you could get the mentality for that fight scene. But like I said, they've evolved in many ways. Like Rambo, that was one of the few movies back in the day that had mixed martial arts. I didn't know about a lot of that growing up. I thought it was just karate and all that. And I used to say, there's no way one style of martial arts does all that. But it's a mixture of the martial arts. And that's a beautiful thing. And I know it's going to keep evolving. It's going to get a lot better, even on TV. Like the show Hunter, Badlands, not the current one, Badlands, but the old school shows. You could even see it in those fight scenes how far we've come, because very few people back then even knew martial arts, and even stunt fighters. There was only a handful back then to choose from. Now there's so many people that know things that could incorporate them in movies and TV, and it makes things more not just believable but more cinematic looking versus just this kind of goofy type of fight where the person's blocking and they're just making a funny act like that versus just like that. It makes it, the fight scenes are a lot more smooth than they used to be. So like I said, actors, learn something real. Writers, just learn how to make it sell. Don't be just generic with it, y'all. So keep fighting. We banging.